Hello, everyone, and welcome to the daily challenge on October 17th, 2020. This one's a pretty long challenge, if I had to be honest, but I mean, with some practice and given this tutorial, I'm sure you guys will pass it just fine. So, as you can see here, how we basically start is we go ahead and place our three dart monkeys. We're basically this is just the early game. This is the easiest way to make sure that you can get through the rounds. I tried doing a ninja monkey only just because the ninja monkey is pretty overpowered on this map, but it didn't work that well. If I had to be honest, it kept missing Bloons. So instead I placed the ninja monkey now. And basically what I'm going to be doing for the next little bit is just upgrading the ninja monkey itself. Going to be giving it some ninja discipline as I just did over there, and once I've upgraded it enough, in this case we're going to be going for a double shot with Seeking Shuriken. As you can see, once we get all the way up to double shot, we're going to be adding Pat Fusty. But basically early game is pretty simple. As you can see, I'm not really doing much, just sitting around just waiting. Honestly, I wish Ninja Kiwi would make these challenges a little bit shorter because, oh my god, this took so long. Especially if you lose because it's chimps, you can't continue or anything. You have to restart all the way from the beginning. But it is what it is, I guess. Anyways, now we got our ninja up to double shot, so it's still smooth sailing all the way. Now we're going to go ahead and get Pat Fusty to the right of the ninja. We're going to make sure that it has a little bit of viewing on the actual lane itself, but it doesn't actually see anything until it reaches level 2, which thankfully it reaches level 2 immediately. Next up, we're just going to be putting the wizard monkey on the outside edge like so. The reason why I'm doing that is because when we upgrade it to Wall of Fire, it's going to be a lot better in terms of its fire placement. There's not as much RNG involved, so it makes life a lot easier, if I have to be honest. So in this case, we're just upgrading everything a little bit at a time. Right now I'm focusing on the wizard monkey anyway. We're going to try to upgrade it to Wall of Fire. In this case, I chose to give the Wall of Fire to the left side of the wizard monkey, or the left wizard monkey first, because the leads are taken care of on the right side by Pat Fusty already, so it's not that important. But as you can see, I got it immediately after anyway. Moving on, once again, like I mentioned, it's smooth sailing. As you might notice, I haven't gotten camo yet. That's only because, once again, the ninja's pretty good right now, early game, in terms of taking care of all the camo. And while we have some money, we can, put that money towards something else. In this case, I want to save 3k so we can get the Bloon Jitsu, because now we're basically set for the Moab after we get the Alchemist, as you can see here. So once again, now we're going to be focusing on getting the Alchemist up to its highest possible upgrade. I believe in this case we're trying to go for a 300. That's as much as we can afford before the Moab comes. Anyway, in this case, you saw me quickly just get the monkey sense for the wizard monkeys, only because I was kind of afraid that if there's any more camos that arrive, it might be a little bit difficult, a little bit overwhelming for the ninja monkey. Like I mentioned, it's really difficult and annoying to go back to restart the challenge. So in this case, I go ahead and I use Pat Fusty's ability as well, as you saw, for round 40. That makes it almost guaranteed that you'll kill the Moab. I don't think you guys are going to have a problem with that. And then, as you just saw, I just went ahead and I completed the 400 for the Alchemist. Next up, I went ahead and I got a wizard monkey just below the ninja. I'm basically going to be doing a 230 for it. There's no real sense of getting camo on it, only because we're going to be getting the village right beside everything anyway, so camo isn't really that important as of right now. But I mean, once again, pretty simple. I would say this challenge gets pretty difficult near the end, so I'll be sure to explain exactly how I did everything. So as you can see now, I'm putting the village down. It is a little bit tricky to get its exact placement, but you'll know you did it right if Pat is in the range of it. So basically I just did a 0-2-0, and then I'm going to be going for a 2-2-0 in order to get a little bit faster attack from the ninja and the wizard, and Pat obviously. So once again, just letting everything go. Now that I've gotten Dragon's Breath on the Wizard Monkey, it's pretty easy to let the Bloons just come and get hit by all 3 Wizard Monkeys. The Wall Fire does really, really well. Round 49 is great for actually making a lot of money. So it's at this point that I actually get a couple glue gunners on both sides. As you might notice, the top glue gunner, I'm trying to place it sort of close to the village, but not too close that I can't see that much in terms of the entryway for the Bloons. So in this case, what we're going for both of these glues is we're going for a 0-3-2. 0-3-2 is going to be really, really important for round 63 along with round 78, where there's a lot of ceramic balloons all together. So this definitely makes life a lot easier. Just past 51 pretty easily because we obviously had the village down, and almost every monkey here can see camo anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. This is all pretty easy. You'll notice that once we get to round 55, which will be in just a couple seconds, I'll be able to afford glue hose here, but it really comes in handy for round 55, which goes ahead and just shows how important it really is. Now I go ahead and I get cannon. Now please nobody laugh at me here. This was really difficult to place. There is almost no room in this middle area anymore, so I knew this was one of the last things I would be able to place. So yeah, I try a lot. I see a very small opening and I'm able to place it there. But we're basically going for a 2-3-0 for this one. I noticed the first time that I played this map, the Moabs and the BFBs rather are very difficult to beat. There's not a lot of Moab damage unless you get something like a cannon. So this definitely helps in terms of doing as much damage as possible. Next up, I go ahead and I get a couple spike factories. This is more so for insurance, just to make sure that, you know, no leaking balloons come and kill me for no reason while I'm not paying attention or anything. But they also really come in handy in terms of being able to afford Spike Storm. Spike Storm is fantastic because it can get you out of a lot of sticky situations in a pinch. So I would say that that was my main method in terms of beating this challenge. So I went ahead and I did a spike factory on the top and bottom. Obviously, they're both worth, you know, like $5,400. Not to mention that Moab Shredder costs another $2,700, so it costs quite a little bit of money. But as you can see, our defense can take care of even round 60 quite easily. So I don't mind saving up for that, which you guys shouldn't mind as well. You guys really won't have to pay attention to this challenge until near the end anyway. So that's what I would say, at least. It's really not that difficult for early game. This is round 63 over here. This is what I mean, that the glue hose is able to take down absolutely everything. So you don't even have to worry about you don't have to worry about any leaking balloons that the glue might miss, because with how many cerams come out at round 63, it's really difficult. Starting now, I would say, as a good rule of thumb, if you see any fortified Moabs or fortified BFBs, I would definitely recommend using the Spike Storm. It really comes in handy in terms of being able to get rid of the layer of, like, the fortified layer, and it can really bring everything down pretty easily. The Spike Factory was definitely clutch for this challenge. Pat Fusty was also very important, but as you can see, once again, the second I see some fortified Moabs, I went ahead and I just used the Spike Storm. It really comes in handy and it's really good. Round 68 here, as you can see, really easy still. This challenge doesn't really get difficult until about round 74 to 75. I actually slowed down 75 a little bit as well, just because that's where I died the first time as well, actually, when recording this. So just as an idea, if you guys are interested, I can also upload like a blooper reel for these challenges as well, because you guys don't understand how long these challenges take sometimes to actually do, especially these really long ones. It gets very frustrating when you're 5 rounds away from completing the challenge and you go ahead and lose at the very end. It's heartbreaking, if I had to be honest. Anyway, now I just go ahead and I upgrade my other 2 spike factories that I had there. So now they're 2 4-0s. So in this case, whenever I feel like my defense is getting a little bit overwhelmed, or like I mentioned, if I see any fortifieds, then I go ahead and use Spike Storm. So in this case, I was ready. I had both Spike Storms and Pat available. So I saw a couple of fortifieds. I used my Spike Factory. I saw that there were even more fortifieds coming. So I went ahead and I waited as long as I could until I finally used the Spike Storm again. You'll see that in just 1 second. In this case, I got kind of scared. What I would recommend for you guys would be to use the Spike Storm a little bit sooner, only because I did wait a little bit too long. 76 is relatively easy. The grow blocker from the village helps with taking care of all the ceramics there without any regrow. 77 is not relatively difficult. 78 is the one to look out for. You'll see me add a couple of extra parts of defense in order to help protect against that. But in this case, once again, anytime I feel like my defense is getting overwhelmed, I have 2 Spike Storms, so it's pretty great, especially if you go ahead and you stagger the ability. It's really, really good in terms of being able to use it and then have one ready to use once again. Next up, I go ahead and I place a Ninja Monkey down. This one I put as a distraction monkey, only because I knew that with round 78 coming, it was going to be a little bit difficult for my defense to handle all the cerams all at once. So in this case, as you saw, they did a pretty good job. The balloons got pretty far, but I think it definitely had to do with the Ninja Monkey pushing some of the balloons back to be able to handle them as such. One thing I actually forgot to do here, which you'll see me do very quickly, I actually have a surplus amount of money, about $3,600. I forgot to add a village, so you'll see me quickly scamper to go ahead and get a village down so that my glue gunner could see camo. Once it was able to see camo, I knew that it was game over and I was able to win. 79 is kind of easy in the beginning. It's really good for getting any money if you're looking to get any extra upgrades, but I mean, at this point we have our defense as good as we need it. So really it gets a little bit difficult once you start seeing the fortified. So once again, do not be afraid to use the Spike Storm like how I did there. In this case, I only needed to use one anyway. And then finally, you have your ZOMG, which is relatively easy to beat. I had Pat's ability available near the end, so I knew I was good there. But at the same time, I went ahead and I used the Spike Factory twice, because why not? I had both of them available. And in this case, Pat's ability didn't really work, but I was still able to win. So that is it. I hope you guys were able to complete this challenge as well as I did. Obviously, if you guys have any more questions or if you need any help, feel free to put it down in the comments. But other than that, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.